Fast forward to now with lipstickgate. Me being vocal, okay, so her lipsticks launched, and I was really excited about them because I knew for the longest time she was going to have a nude set of lipsticks. I'm like, cool, would love some nude lipsticks myself. I didn't purchase them in the beginning because I knew they were going to sell out, and I was like, I don't have time to sit on the site and try to stock it. I know she'll restock, I'll get some later. So when the lipsticks launched, it started coming out with people saying that the lipsticks were scratchy or whatever. And my first thought was, okay, people are being dramatic or whatever. They're just trying to find something to tear apart, whatever. Stayed low, didn't say anything. And then it was one after another of people showing things that were going wrong with the lipsticks. And for me, this is what made me speak up, was when I think it was Brianna. And I've met Brianna, we've contacted her, we've stayed in touch with her over the years, and she's truly genuine. She's a good person. I don't feel her to be dishonest or anything. She pulled the lipstick out, the long hair out of the lipstick, and I was like, that's not as good. Okay. Over time, after I started seeing like shards of plastic, the long hairs, the black hairs, I saw Christy do her microscope thing, then I'm like, okay, this is now not just a fluke thing, like this is contamination. Whether it's a dangerous one or not, things being embedded in lipsticks with all of those things, it's not just one thing, that is contamination. That's just factual of what it is. And so that's when I knew at this point, the lab that I truly believe did this. And that's why I got so upset. Okay, so on June 6th, 2016, it was a Monday. I know it because I have it on my calendar. I have saved all of my appointments where I go. I was at this lab working on my concealers that I never launched, and I will show you pictures of them. These are my concealers. They had shards of plastic in them. They had fingerprints. They had hairs in them. They had black specks in them. Does that sound familiar? These were concealers that I had with this lab that I was at on June 6, 2016. Working on them. Once we got full production, I never launched them. I never really spoke on why, and it was devastating for me because I still have my prototype one right here. This is not the production one, so it's not super funky. This was a hand pressed one in the lab. It looks good from here. I'd been using it and everything like that. So this lab that I was at June 6, 2016, I saw Jaclyn there. And I had texted her. I found out that she was going to be in the same city this lab was, and I texted her. This is, after our collaboration and everything, I was like, hey, I saw you're going into town. Would love to just meet you for coffee. And she responded like she didn't have time. She was busy. I'm like, okay. So then I'm sitting in my lab, and I'm down in my lab rep's office, which is kind of weird because usually I'm in the conference room. And so I was like, this is kind of odd. And my lab rep was kind of like fumbling around, like trying to tell me like, oh, we didn't have this date scheduled. I was like, no, it's on the calendar right here. And my team is coming with me. So it was me, myself, and 2 other of my staff members were there. So we're sitting there working on product. One of my staff members go to the bathroom, comes back and was like, Jaclyn's here. And I was like, okay, oh, that's okay. Well, Jaclyn's here. Okay. And I didn't go down because she was in the conference room with another, another person. And my lab rep, as soon as she heard that, my staff member came in and said, Jaclyn's here. This is unprofessional for the lab rep's part. It was like, oh yeah, we're working on Jaclyn's lipsticks. I was like, okay, like in my mind, the red flag, I'm like, that's a huge protocol no. Like no lab should ever. And so I was like, okay, let it slide from there. Fast forward to now, so after I got my concealers that had all of these issues with them, I had let Jaclyn know. I was like, look, I've had issues with these concealers. I know you were at this lab or whatever, or if, I don't know who's doing your lipsticks, honestly, but don't work with this lab because I had a really shitty problem with them. It is well known, this is why I'm so vocal, is because it is well known now behind the scenes of the beauty community with many manufacturers, with other CEOs, with other labs. The whole industry behind the scenes now knows that this one specific lab has had an issue multiple times with multiple people with producing, I'm just going to say it, shitty product. And so, it's no surprise there. So when I saw these lipsticks come out, I cannot say for sure if these lipsticks are made at that same lab. I'm not there on the production line to see it physically. I'm just saying that if I see you at this lab and then I see that these products are here, I told you, like I gave you recommendations for other labs to work with. After that, it was like, I didn't have anything else to say. I figured she's got it on her own. My problem with the whole situation wasn't even the lipsticks having issues. it happens. The lab should be the one that held responsible. They're the ones that put out shitty product if it is contamination and all of that. Like, it's not okay. How this lab is still in business, I don't know. I can't say the name of it because of legalities, and I'm not gonna, this isn't like a drama thing. I'm just stating the truth that it is well known that this lab has produced garbage. And so, that's why I was so vocal, you guys. It was no hatred for Jaclyn. I am genuinely concerned about the safety of people using these. Whether it has like, you know, people are making assumptions that it's mold, it's fungus. I don't know. I can't say. I'm not a chemist and we have to wait until they're tested. But however, even if there's a slight chance that there's something in here that could be a risk to anyone, why not just halt it? Why not just put a statement saying, don't use these, let's, you know, wait to test them or whatever. But it was silence. So in this mind, now I'm getting upset because I'm like, okay, I'm truly concerned. This is my community too. And yes, I know I'm inserting myself into drama or whatever, but it's not, it was never some sort of hatred to her because we've been cool for many years. I have a problem with how the situation was handled because it affects the people using them, especially those with compromised immune systems, those who are pregnant, the elderly, because just God forbid, I'm not saying it's for certain, but if it has something that can make people sick, if it can, we don't know yet, it's not good. So just make a statement or recall it. That's what insurance is for. For us with our concealers, I didn't launch them. It cost us a lot of money. We lost our shirt on that stuff, but we did recover it some by fortunately having insurance for things like this. If you have product you can't sell, ultimately it's the lab's responsibility, and they usually take care of issues with that. But with this one, so it was such a battle to try to get this taken care of. We had insurance take care of it. That's what it's there for. So anyways, I was vocal because I'm truly, truly concerned. And then when the statement came out about the white gloves, then I was like, look, I've been on producing makeup for many years. I've never once, and I personally go in these labs myself. The product development that I do for Makeup Week, I work on them myself. I had a very brief time where I had a product developer work on some products, but in the end, I was like, I know what I want for my company, and so I've been the one at the labs working on products. So I know, I've been in there, I view it, and I definitely make sure that any lab we work with that I've seen how clean it is, how is the customer service and all that, just to check. Anyways, never seen white gloves unless they're putting the caps on. So if you have a shiny tube, you have a white glove, then yes. But on the actual production floor, it just didn't make sense to me. So that's why I started being more vocal, because if the general audience doesn't have the experience behind the scenes of producing makeup, but I do, I'm going to be vocal about it. It's not coming from a vicious place. It's coming from genuine concern. I know, I feel like I'm rambling now, but I just have to get this off my chest, you guys. I am the type of person that will be honest even if it hurts. If my friends and my family know this, that I will ride or die for them. I will be the first one to tell them that they look beautiful, that they, are doing a great job and things, and I mean it. But on the same term, if my cousin comes up to me and was like, look, Marlena, does my poo stink? I'm gonna be like, girl, your poo stinks. I'm sorry, but it's okay. We got Glade, we got matches, we got plugins. It's okay. I still love you. I think your hair smells great, but your poo, it doesn't smell like roses. I'm sorry. That's the person I am. It doesn't mean that I'm hateful towards that person. So for me, speaking out, it's coming from a place of, look, I don't believe the white glove story. And then after that was kind of debunked, then it found out later a statement that it was white cloths cleaning out the vats and all of that stuff. It was 0.01% of people were unhappy. It was just things that were not lining up. And that's when I became really vocal, because I feel like the beauty community and the general audience as a whole, I really do care about, that deserve to know, like, this is standard production times. These are things that usually happen when you're making makeup. This stuff isn't adding up, and that's all. So I wanted to get that off my chest.